The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ. Welcome back, CJ.
Welcome back, Commander COVID.
Sorry I was out of commission for a couple of days, but, I'm still kind of out of commission, as you can see. But we're working to get this together, and I'm over here working to make sure that your show and information comes out to you as fast as possible. So starting out with the COVID numbers, let's see what we have here. For yesterday, total number of cases in Massachusetts, 132,440, with 626 new cases. Total deaths is 9,295 with 3 new deaths, and Bristol County has 10,311. As of Friday, the city of Fall River had 3 more confirmed positive cases of COVID, adding up to a total of 2,144 cases, with the remaining at 135 deaths. So that's what we've got for COVID numbers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Fall River and our zone. We're on the border of being a red zone, and that could be a problem. But I think a bigger problem was the fact that the mayor said to Channel 6 News that he would not stop the children from going to school until we've been 3 weeks in the red zone, which I think is irresponsible. But hey, that's only me.
Yeah, you did say that in the flush too. So read the flush, everybody.
Exactly.
And, but let's see how long the COVID virus becomes the center of the universe after the election. So everything is election. No matter what happens, the president gets sick, it's COVID virus issue. Now they got upset because he went out and waved at his fans out there, and even though the Secret Service people who were driving him were volunteers, and they had protective suits on, and they were separated by plexiglass from the back seat. And, all they do is figure out ways to make everything a negative. If it was Joe Biden, it would be, what a courageous man with the COVID virus going out to greet the people of the United States. It would be, this is political spinology at its most nauseous. And what's even worse is the people who actually wish death upon the president and the first lady. And especially when they're people of supposed note. One of a former employee of Obama and Hillary Clinton said she hoped he died. And there were literally millions of posts like that. And that just goes to show how this society has degenerated into basically this country is not showing its best face to the rest of the world when they do things like that. I mean, what the hell? We're no better than Nazi Germany.
Right.
So anybody that you don't like, and this is a personal thing too. This has got nothing to do with anything except personal dislikes for a person who happen to become the president of the United States and isn't one of them. I really truly believe that it would be we would see a lot less of this if Donald Trump was a politician. You see, if one of the other candidates in 2016 would have been elected, they wouldn't have went bananas like they did. But the problem is they elected a non-politician as president. And obviously his behavior continues to make him a non-politician because he doesn't give a damn about what the politicians think. He does what he wants to do. And that scares politicians because they like everybody to be walking in lockstep with their platforms and everything else. So it's a sad commentary on the United States when you have people who actually, not only the media that's totally biased, but people who just dislike this individual, wishing him death and nothing but harm and making everything that he does a negative. The rest of the world must be saying, wow, and we thought Russia was bad. We thought, that some of these repressive countries, but now they're actually thinking more of China than they are the United States. We're not really putting on a good face for the rest of the world throughout this entire election process. It has been extremely, extremely disappointing to me.
Well, and the thing is that regardless of who sits in the seat of the president, okay, you may not like that gentleman, but you have to respect the office of the president. He is the leader of this country, and like him or not, you have to respect the office of the president. And they've never, since his inauguration, they have never respected the office of the president. Never mind respecting him. I see it daily, comments about what he said, how he said it, when he said it. It's ridiculous. It's sad. It's sad. There's no respect for the office of the president anymore.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems we have in the society. These millennials have no respect for anything or anybody, any institution, yet they're living in mommy and daddy's basement. They can't live on their own. They're not even self-sufficient, yet they have no respect for anything. I just saw a blurb on the news and I couldn't get the full story, unfortunately, but I guess a police officer in Fort Lauderdale was shot while he was escorting another police officer who may have been killed in the line of duty. So, I mean, they don't respect the police. They don't respect institutions. They don't respect the Constitution. They don't respect anything. So it's their way, or you can be killed. We have college professors saying it's okay to assassinate fascists. We've got people wishing death on the president of the United States. And the reality is there's no room for that in a free country. This country is supposed to be the freest country in the world. And you are, as you said, entitled to other ideas. You can disagree. But as Amy Coney Barrett said about Scalia and Ginsberg, they attacked the ideas, not the people, the person. And that's fine. If you want to disagree with everything Donald Trump did or anybody else, fine. Talk to it about the merit, about what they did. Give your opinion. Give your opinion on how you could have fixed it better, or you think it could have been fixed in a more efficient way. But to attack always personally, attacking families, attacking personal attacks is just, it's un-American. It's not even moral in any way, shape, or form. It's basically third world country stuff, and it's not going to stop. And heaven forbid if he gets reelected. I don't even want to know. Their heads will all explode. You have comedians saying they're rooting for COVID and this kind of stuff. It's just inappropriate. You don't like somebody, you don't like them. You don't have to have a beer with them. You can disagree with all his ideas, but you don't like somebody personally. But you don't attack people personally. Yet we never see the Democrats. We never see the media chastising the Democrats. In your flush, you talked about spendocrats.
Yep.
The Democratic, great Democratic freaking House and Senate. What did they do? Hey, everybody, you got a gas tax. Hey, everybody, you got more taxes. What did they do? And where did Massachusetts finish in that survey of how badly these states are doing economically? Because
we got
this is the spendthrift state.
We got an
And where were we? 46? Were we
Yep.
46 to 47? 46, I believe, right?
Yep, 46.
46 out of 50 states. This is your legislature. The wonderful state of Massachusetts has gotten itself nearly at the bottom. And I believe, I'm ballparking here because I read the article a week ago, but I think we had over 100 billion, 106 billion or something like that in debt with only 23 billion to pay it.
Right.
So, I mean, we're so far in the toilet, it's incredible. And how did we get there? Even though last year we had a $1.1 billion surplus, these bums in Boston, the Boston bums, the spendocrats, they never stop spending your money. And as you said in your weekend flush very accurately, and I think that's the thing that should come out and slap everybody into reality in the side of the head, they just gave themselves a really big pay raise.
A huge one. Huge.
A huge, exactly. Huge pay raise. But we're out of money. But
Yeah.
they got their pay raise.
We're over $1 billion surplus over the past 2 years, but we're out of money.
Yeah.
And we're going to raise the gas tax 5 cents a gallon so that we can fix the failing transportation infrastructure. Where's all the taxes gone from the previous years that was supposed to go to fixing the failing transportation infrastructure? Whose pocket did that go in? I want to know. I want to be that guy.
Well, you know. That's right. I know that was a rhetorical question because you know who went to all their friends.
That's right.
All the construction companies, all the big campaign contributors, they all line their pockets. And who suffers? The taxpayers of Massachusetts. So now every single person who's driving to their barely above minimum wage job has to pay, has to fork over another more money for their gasoline, even though now we've become self-sufficient with gas and oil, that prices have gone down to a degree. So Massachusetts will take care of it. Interestingly enough, CJ, did you see there was a blurb I saw about after the debate, or the debauchery, if you want to, whatever terminology you want to go, the circus. There were literally millions of Google searches about citizenship in Canada.
Yep.
People in this country wanted to leave the country and go to Canada. And I want you to take a wild guess now. I know you're on some medications and stuff, but I want you to, really think about this. Guess what state had the most Google searches for moving to Canada?
Massachusetts.
What amazing! You're still right on the ball. That's it. Massachusetts had the most Google searches for getting the hell out of Dodge. And I've been doing all kinds of Google searches about South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana. It's a little cooler up there. Texas is out because they got terrible weather. But a lot of people have moved to Texas. A lot of people are moving to Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, states where they have very little taxes. By the way, did you realize that South Dakota has no personal income tax Retirees have no tax on retirees' checks. Extremely low taxes in that state. Extremely business friendly and people friendly. Weather's a little tough in the winter, but hey, you know, it is what it is. You got to take the bad with the good. But I mean, you're going to see a mass exodus of people leaving Massachusetts because this state is just totally out of control. We're 46th, and our legislature is working their butts off to get us down to 50th.
And you know
we
what?
want to be the bottom.
Whose fault is that? It's your fault. It's your fault, the voter. Your fault, the voter, because you do not pay attention to what you vote for. You vote strictly by party line, and that is sad. That shows you have no thought process. You have no concern. All you care about is the party line. And when you just tote the party line, you put the state into the situation it's in, where we're paying more and more taxes and getting less and less services. Sounds just like Fall River.
Yeah, and let's remind everybody who's in charge of Ways and Means in the Senate.
Rodriguez.
The guy who gets more perks, and he was number 3, I think, in his state and getting perks. But let's remind everybody, he always finds a way because we are the means. Because that's where he gets the means from you. Right. Taxes upon taxes upon taxes. And it's like, wow. Remember when we voted to eliminate the state tax? What happened with that one? They put the kibosh on that, didn't they?
Of course.
And you look at a place like, you look like South Dakota, low sales tax, no personal taxes, basically virtually extremely low taxes, if any taxes on anything. And then you wonder why we're losing people. Anybody that's, you know, can get out is getting out. And it's going to get worse because, as you said, this gas tax is going to have a tremendous impact on people. It's going to take a lot of money out of your pocket. Think about this insidious trickle. It's like the Chinese water torture. They're just going to drain it out of your pocket. Nickel a gallon. Every time you gas up, you're paying an extra $1, $2 every time you gas up. And it just keeps going, and it will never go away. It'll only go up. And this is the kind of stuff they nickel, and literally that's what they're doing. It's a nickel, but they're nickel and diming you to death. And that's what they do in this state. They nickel and dime everybody to death. And as you said, whose fault is it? Look in the mirror. All you people that elect these people over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, most of the time, these state legislators don't even run opposed. It's just the primary, because they're virtually running unopposed for many of these seats, and it's tragic. And remember what Theodore Roosevelt said in one of his most famous speeches, and he made so many great ones, hyphenated Americans and other things, but he said, it is okay, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I'd have to look up the speech, but it's a great speech. You should look it up. He said it is perfectly okay to criticize the President of the United States when he does something wrong. Not attack them personally, but criticize them. But he then went on to say, it's not only okay, it's your duty to call him out when he does something wrong, because he works for you. When he was the President of the United States. But he also said that when he does something right, you should give him credit for doing something right. And there was a great president, because he understood that. He also understood how to deal with immigration, and he loved immigrants. His hyphenated American speech, but they had to be legal. But this is the problem we have. We have a society where everybody wants everything given to them for free, And now they're going to try to elect everybody that'll give them everything for nothing. But guess what? There's no such thing as a free lunch, everybody. They'll get it from you one way or another. Income taxes, gas taxes, tax on the taxes, tax, and no such thing as a free lunch. And when they tell you it's free, the only people that are getting it free are the rich people and the people who don't have any money. We give them everything for free, and then you're stuck in the middle. So if you got a job, they're basically calling everybody who worked for a living their entire life an idiot, because all you're doing is working to subsidize the rich and the illegals.
And that's sad. That really is sad, you know. And I know that the column this weekend offended some people who are lifelong Democrats and even some people who are part of Democratic committees. But you know what? It's the truth. They're not Democrats, they're spendocrats. And the sad part is, like you said, they go unopposed. Carol Fiola is unopposed this year. Alan Silvia is unopposed this year. Paul Schmidt is opposed, but he's a young person, Evan Gendro, I think his name is, and he's a Republican. And I think people are going to hold his age against him, and they're going to think, well, that's fine. But guess what? Paul Schmidt, Carol Fiola, Alan Silvia all voted for the tax increase. They obviously don't know what Fall River is going through and what the people of Fall River can and cannot afford, because they're also not representing the people of Fall River. They say they are. They're all over the city. They're at coffee hours and this and that and the other thing. They're at every Veterans Affair event that there is, but they don't vote that way, which is honestly the biggest deceitful acts that they can do. And they do them regularly. And the people of Fall River are so ignorant, they don't see it. They really don't.
They're still getting $100. They still getting $100 a day for driving to Boston.
Yeah, yeah, more than that.
Probably more than 100 now. So you figure out how many nickels that's going to take. So if they drive to Boston 3 days a week or 4 days a week during a session, they made $300 or $400. So that goes up. So these taxes don't bother them because they give themselves increases in stipends, increases in their salaries, gigantic increase. Well, remember the last go round we had when we were doing it in the studio, and we talked about the president of the Senate wanting a stipend jumped up from $25,000 to $80,000 because he hadn't had a stipend increase in 20 years. Well, how about the big salary increases you got? And I'm telling you, this, as you said, they're not working for you, the working man and woman. They're not working in your best interest. They are not answerable to you, and at all times your substitutes. They go up there and they wander around the corridors up there, and what do they do really? It's like they could be up there for 30 years, nobody knows anything. And then they come down at election time and they raise your taxes, and then there's a blurb in the newspaper, and everybody gets outraged. And then later on, as you said, they go to a coffee hour and schmooze everybody, and everybody's okay with that. Because right. It's not about representing the best interest. If they were representing our best interest, they would control their spending. This state would have lower taxes, which we should have. Think about this. South Dakota, not the first state you would think about as being a tremendous place for job opportunity. You don't see a lot of industry or a lot of, it's a beautiful state, absolutely beautiful state. But when you look at Massachusetts, all the major hospitals, all the major colleges, all the big businesses that are headquartered in Boston, the 128 with the tech belt at 128, with the research facilities, medical research facilities over in over in Newton and in the Wellesley area. They have a lot of research facilities over there that are associated with Boston hospitals. This state has a lot of businesses and a lot of income potential. But what do they do with it? Nothing. Spend it. Spend all they get from that, and then they have to rape and pillage the working man. If South Dakota and Wyoming and Montana and Texas can maintain their tax and keep it low, why can't the Fall River delegation and the rest of the state of Massachusetts' legislative body do the same? You know why? Because they don't have to. As you said, CJ, they will get elected no matter how far they stick it up.
Well, you know, and what's interesting, you know, which I started looking into right away as soon as you said it. The unemployment rate for South Dakota for September was 4.8%. 4.8%. You know what Massachusetts was? 14.5.
Yeah.
And what does South Dakota really have to offer? They don't. It's not like they have Boston. It's not like they have major league, you know, hospitals, major university hospitals, or any of that. And their unemployment rate is 4.8. And guess what? They don't pay income tax. So they're doing something right, it looks like. But I might be wrong.
No, we're wrong. You know, our politicians are right. And remember, CJ, something very important. That 14% unemployment rate isn't counting all the undocumenteds, as they like to refer to them, or the illegals.
Right.
And the people who are in the welfare system. Let's see I would really like to see, maybe we're going to have to try to see if we can look it up, how many people they have involved in their welfare system. And I know they don't have a lot of undocumenteds up there, so or illegals. And see, they've almost got me brainwashed. I'm starting to call illegals undocumented too often. I have to remind myself of that. But look, we're not doing anything right on this coast. If you look at the two coasts, I mean, look at what we're paying. Look at what California and Oregon and Washington State. Look at the chaos in those states. California is so deep in the hole, it's incredible. Why? Because they got all these giveaway programs for the people that do nothing. And the people, if you're foolish enough to have a job and work for a living, you are the whipping boy. They're going to take as much money as they can from you as long as you're dumb enough to not go on welfare like everybody else or leave the state. So I wish I was.
Keep voting for.
I only had a crystal ball.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember Pastor Tom? Do you remember Pastor Tom, the preacher that used to be in the middle of Plymouth Avenue with the cross, and he tried to talk to everybody, and he'd be in front of the courthouse? He was arrested in Fort Myers for preaching. He's in Fort Myers, Florida now, and they're preaching. They got a video of it on YouTube, so it's very interesting. Well, with that,
is my memory serving me incorrectly, or do we have freedom of religion? I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like they're attacking every one of our religious freedoms and our First Amendment rights. So it's going to be interesting. Well, that's it, people. We're at the end of our show. It's a short visit, but you know what? Thanks for allowing us into your home. Thanks for allowing us to share with you. And please give us some feedback and let us know how you feel about our show. We're always willing to listen.
Nice to be back. Nice
Thanks
to be
for
back.
watching and have a great day.
The Knights of Columbus are a terrorist organization, but Antifa isn't. It's just an idea.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Remember, stay safe and stay angry.